Hey everybody, what's going on? Michael Shannon here with Real Estate TV. I am the lending expert of the group, and I'm doing a video by myself today. Just gonna want to go over a couple of VA myths. I've been having a few veterans I've been talking to have some issues and say some things that were kind of big myths that they believed. And I just kind of wanted to go over a couple of those situations with you, give some veterans out there some tips about the VA loan process and some myths about it that are not true. So jumping right in, myth number one is that you need really good or perfect credit to be approved for a VA loan. A lot of times people think because the loan terms are so good that it means you have to be an incredibly well put together borrower to use them. That's simply not the case. In fact, credit scores can actually be lower than they are in other loan types, such as a conventional loan. So that is one of the biggest myths. Don't hold back. Please apply with your lender. Please apply and let them tell you. Don't just say, well, I don't have the best credit, so I can't qualify. And in fact, using that VA loan to go ahead and buy a bigger, better house at the time instead of renting may help you with your credit score over the long run. So please don't let that hold you back. The other big myth that I thought was really interesting was that I had a veteran tell me that they thought only combat veterans were eligible. Not the case either. It's all veterans that were honorably discharged. And of course, you go to the VA for approval and get that certificate of eligibility. But again, it's up to the VA, and it certainly does not have a combat requirement at all. And then myth number three would be you can only use the VA home loan one time. That is true in the way that you can't buy a house with a VA loan and then buy another house, like a rental property or a second home with a VA loan. But it is incorrect that once you've used it, you can't use it again. The only thing that is a factor when you're applying for a second, third, or fourth time to buy another home and sell the previous VA or refi the previous VA one is that you're going to have an increased funding fee. So it's not that you can't use it or you lose your eligibility. You can use a VA loan 100 times. You just can't have multiple VA loans at one time, and then your funding fee will increase. The fourth thing would be that the VA appraisal takes too long. We don't want to do it anymore. We'll just do conventional. That's also a myth. It does take 10 business days. That is longer than the conventional loan, usual 3 to 5 business days. But the truth of the matter is those 4 or 5 days, if your lender knows what they're doing, really don't make an impact. If they get your loan package disclosed to you the day that the contract starts, if it's a 30-day contract, there's plenty of time. Certainly no reason to not do the loan and end up doing worse terms or a conventional loan and putting a bunch down that you didn't want to just because. That's definitely not a reason. The other thing is VA loans have unexpected out-of-pocket costs. That is completely a myth. It just has a different fee structure than other loans simply because it's a different type of loan. The same way conventional has different fees and set up from a FHA. There are no hidden unexpected out-of-pocket costs. That is simply not true. VA loans have too much government red tape. No. In fact, they're very easy to qualify for. In fact, the DTI isn't even a set number. So the debt to income ratio for FHA, another government loan, has a very strict number that you can't go over. Untrue for VAs is actually looser regulations around VA loans in some parts of the loan. And then number 7, you're limited to as far as what you can do with your VA home loan benefits. That's not true. You can buy a condo, you can get a jumbo loan, you can get a higher balance one. If you're making good money, you can buy $1 million house with a VA loan. And so there really isn't a lot of limits. Again, just there's limits on every loan. Don't hold yourself back and assume that there's special limits on a VA loan as opposed to FHA or conventional or USDA. They all have their own quirks, their own little box to fit in, their own rules and regulations. But certainly no more in VA is any more restrictive. That's certainly not true. In fact, I think it's the opposite a lot of times. The myth number 8. VA loans, and this is a big one, have higher interest rates. That is 100% not true. Interest rates are set by the market, and then they're given through the company. They're set based on loan product, loan type, loan package, risk assessment, all of that stuff. But I, particularly at my company, have better rates for my veterans, and they specifically do that to give veterans a break. Along with giving them a break on fees, we give them a break on rate as well. So maybe at other mortgage companies that could be true, not with me and not with anybody that's doing the right thing. They're not gonna be holding you back over over a VA loan. They're not going to raise interest rates just because. That's shady and oftentimes untrue. In fact, sometimes, especially with lower credit score borrowers, they get a much better rate through the VA, much better. And then myth number 9, most veterans don't qualify for a VA loan. That is untrue. Actually, over 3/4 of all who have served and have a DD 214 do qualify. And do have that certificate of eligibility. So again, if you don't know or you don't think you do, just go ahead and check. It's free and harmless to go ahead and get that COE and get it checked out. And then last but not least, number 10, VA occupancy rule is too hard for active duty serving overseas. That is so untrue. In fact, they will bend over backwards. So if you are the VA requires that there's owner occupancy in the first 60 days after closing. However, if you are gone active duty, they can extend that up to 12 months, up to a full year. So again, they're very flexible. They understand who they're working with. They understand you might still be in the reserves. You might have been active duty, retired, and gone back in. That happens. So you could still be eligible for a VA loan and still be serving, and they understand that. So the theme, as usual, is please get with an expert. Please leave a comment below if you have a question. Give me a call, shoot me an email, and get with a mortgage person who knows what they're talking about, especially involving VA loans, because they are incredible. You can get a better rate. You can get lower fees. You can put less down. You don't have mortgage insurance. There is so many positive things for veterans in every aspect of the loan. So please don't hold yourself back. Please don't think it is some scam, that the government's running or anything like that. It truly isn't, and it's a great opportunity for veterans. Well, that's the list of VA loan myth busters that we did today. I hope you enjoyed the little episode. I know my buddy Hunter is not here with me today, but a little solo episode on VA loans just to kind of myth bust and get some more information out there. There's just so much misinformation and myths out there in the market. That's what this channel's for. Please please subscribe the video. We appreciate all the support, and let me know if you have any questions, email, or comments so everybody else can see them. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great day.